The phone vibrated in my palm as the coffin was lowered. Once. Twice. 71 times by the time the first shovel of dirt hit wood. I didn't look. Black umbrellas bloomed like bruises across the cemetery. My brother stood 3 rows ahead, shoulders squared, silk suit catching the weak sun. He didn't cry. He never had. Beside him, she wore grief-like jewelry, tasteful, expensive, rehearsed. She turned. Our eyes met. 7 years disappeared. She leaned toward me as the priest cleared his throat. Her perfume reached me before her words did, still the same. Still weaponized. "So," she whispered, smiling without kindness, "I guess I won, right?" "You're still poor." I felt nothing on my face. Inside, something old stretched and cracked, like ice under a careful step. I nodded once. "Yeah." A pause. Long enough for her to savor it. "Well," I said softly, because soft is where knives hide. "Meet my wife." She froze. The phone vibrated again. I finally looked down. A photo. A terrace carved into a Swiss mountainside. Glass, stone, snowlight. My daughter-in-law's name at the top of the screen, the message beneath it short and sharp. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." I typed one word. Enjoy. When I looked up, my brother was staring at the photo over her shoulder. And the coffin disappeared into the ground. 7 years ago, I was the reasonable son. The quiet one. I built things slowly. I loved her carefully. My brother collected attention like trophies and money like air. She told me she needed more. She meant him. The morning she left, she kissed my cheek and apologized with her eyes already elsewhere. By nightfall, she was photographed stepping out of his car. He didn't deny it. He never had to. He owned the story before it could hurt him. I left the city. Left the job. Left the version of myself that thought loyalty was currency. I rebuilt. Silently. What she never knew, what he never bothered to check, was that I didn't lose everything. I lost time. And time is an investment if you're patient enough. The funeral brought us back into the same frame. Old money, mourning, older blood. My brother's hand on her lower back like a claim staked in flesh. And then there was the phone. 71 missed calls don't come from nowhere. They come from panic. I felt it stirring now, around us. The way people glanced twice. The way whispers traveled faster than grief. My wife hadn't come inside the cemetery. She didn't need to. Her absence was louder. My brother's smile tightened. He leaned in toward me, voice low. "You always had timing issues," he said. I smiled back. "I've improved." She didn't say another word. She kept watching my phone like it might bite. After the burial, the house filled with noise. Old relatives. New lies. Champagne uncorked too early. I stayed near the window. Observing. Always observing. 7 years ago, I learned that betrayal leaves fingerprints. Not emotional ones. Financial ones. Behavioral ones. While my brother bragged, I listened. While she laughed, I watched where her eyes went when money was mentioned. Still hungry. Still counting. My phone rested on the table, screen down. It buzzed again. Unknown number. I let it ring. Inside my head, calculations stacked neatly. The trust documents finalized last year. The property transfers completed quietly. The shell companies dissolved on schedule. The DNA test results filed and forgotten confirmed what I already suspected about my brother's first child. Not his. He never asked. He never wanted to know. I watched her excuse herself, phone in hand, slipping into the hallway like a thief returning to the scene. That's when I followed. Not to confront, to confirm. She whispered my name into the phone like a confession she couldn't swallow. Her voice cracked. I stood close enough to hear the fear underneath the arrogance. "You didn't tell me he was like this," she hissed. A pause. "No, I didn't think he'd survive." I stepped back before she turned. I didn't need more. Truth doesn't announce itself. It accumulates. Dinner was served. My brother raised a glass. A speech about legacy. About fathers and sons. I interrupted by placing an envelope beside his plate. He frowned. Opened it. The room went quiet in layers. Documents. Signatures. A simple chart showing ownership past, present, irreversible. His face drained slowly. Beautifully. She leaned in, reading over his shoulder. Her breath caught. Her hand trembled. "What is this?" she whispered. I answered without raising my voice. My life. The villa. The investments. The accounts he'd tried to buy into and failed. All mine. Always had been. Structured through names he'd never notice. Countries he couldn't pronounce. My brother laughed once. Too loud. "This is a joke." I met his eyes. "I already met your lawyer." Silence. She sat down hard. Her mouth opened. Closed. Words failing her for the first time in years. "You said he was nothing?" she whispered to my brother. He didn't answer. I stayed calm. I always do when the truth arrives. She stood suddenly, chair scraping. Eyes wild now. Naked. "You think this changes anything?" She snapped at me. "You think money." I tilted my phone so she could see the screen. A new photo. My wife and I on the terrace. Snow in her hair. Our daughter laughing between us. Real laughter. Unrehearsed. Then the missed calls. 71. Her name. My brother's. Numbers I didn't bother saving. I leaned closer. Not to threaten. To clarify. "You didn't win," I said quietly. "You selected." Her face collapsed. My brother pushed back from the table. Rage flaring. Pride breaking. "You planned this," he said. I nodded. Yes. I walked away before either of them could say my name again. Outside, the air was clean. Sharp? Honest? On the drive home, my wife called. "Did you enjoy yourself?" she asked. "Yes," I said, and meant it. Later that night, the phone rang again, and again, and again. I turned it off. Some victories don't need witnesses. Some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness. 7 years ago, she chose power over loyalty. Today, she learned the difference. And I finally stopped carrying the weight of people who never carried me.